I can hear.
Okay. Okay, but also we have done yesterday fourth ventricle, isn't it? So we will finish the remaining two ventricles today. That is the lateral ventricle and also the third ventricle. Now, what is lateral ventricle? Where do we see? Inside the cerebral hemisphere, we will see two lateral ventricles. So the question may be something like this, but I kept one case scenario also here. Okay. So like a 55-year-old man was being investigated for signs and symptoms that suggested the presence of cerebral tumor. Examination of CT scan showed gross enlargement and distortion of lateral ventricle. What other investigations might be carried out in this patient to display the ventricles of the brain? So using your knowledge of neuroanatomy, determine the location of tumor in this patient. So this you will be able to analyze and write everything. Once we finish, again at the end of the lecture also I kept this slide again. Okay, so something like this, the question like a scenario maybe. So now see here, now first of all, let us see before we talk anything about it. Basically, we know like how many lobes are there in the brain? 4 lobes. Frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe. So how many cerebral hemispheres do we have? 2. This is one. Right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere. And in each cerebral hemisphere, we have lateral ventricle. So when you see the lateral ventricle in each, like suppose this is the frontal lobe, inside the frontal lobe we have anterior horn, inside the occipital lobe we have the posterior horn, inside the temporal lobe we have inferior horn, and in the parietal lobe we have central part. Like that, but that means it has anterior horn, posterior horn, inferior horn, and central part. Right and left, lateral ventricles are connected by means of and interconnecting structure. No, what is that?
Interventricular foramen of Monro.
Yeah, interventricular foramen of Monro. From here, the CSF will travel to third ventricle and then to fourth ventricle. From fourth ventricle, it is entering into
the central canal of spine.
Central canal of spinal cord. Okay, so that is. So now see here, the lateral ventricles are two irregular cavities situated one in each cerebral hemisphere. So each lateral ventricle is communicating with third ventricle, as just now Imad was telling, through interventricular foramen or foramen of Monro. Each lateral ventricle has a central part and 3 horns. Anterior horn is also called as frontal horn, posterior occipital horn, inferior temporal horn. Okay. Now see here. Now we know like yesterday also when we were talking about fourth ventricle, I told you the lining of fourth ventricle is by ependymal cells. Yesterday, in fact, we have also studied about one tumor, no, ependymoma. Isn't it? Ependymoma is a tumor which was blocking that outlet of the fourth ventricle yesterday. No, I told you raising intracranial pressure. Okay, like that, all the ventricles are lined by the tall columnar cells. Okay, those are the ependyma. M is mistake. Sorry, because spelling is mistake here. Okay. Now we will see what are the contents, like what is thyroid plexus, CSF communication. I told you yesterday also. So shape everything we will discuss. Subdivisions we have just discussed. This is the central part, anterior horn, posterior horn, and inferior horn. This is the picture which is taken from Chaurasia. Okay, I have sent all the PowerPoints. Hema will send shortly. Actually, I have 3 mail IDs, Hema, Chavi, and Imad. So I have attached to them. So please share in the group. I'm little busy with so many other activities. So please take care. Okay, see here. This is one cerebral hemisphere. This is one more cerebral hemisphere. So between the two, like in each cerebral hemisphere, we have lateral ventricle, the empty cavity filled with CSF. Now, this picture is from Chaurasia beta. Better you practice this diagram. This is like lateral ventricle is present in the left cerebral hemisphere. This is in the right cerebral hemisphere. If you can draw the outline. So this is anterior horn, then posterior horn, inferior horn, central part. Right and left lateral ventricles are connected by interventricular foramen of Monro. And this is the third ventricle and then this is the fourth ventricle. Okay, beta? So now, let us talk about each part in fact. Now see, lateral ventricle is an essay question in our university exam. Okay. In fact, it's very, very easy also. Okay, only thing is you need to practice more diagrams for this. Theoretical aspects are not so much, but if you can practice diagrams and if you can read and everything, you can write in your own words. How to do, I will tell you. Now, for any part, we should know. Suppose if we are talking about the central part, which is situated in which lobe? Parietal lobe.
So parietal lobe.
Parietal lobe. So it has boundaries. Okay. So medial wall, roof, and floor. Okay. Now see here, this is the central part. Now anteriorly, it is extending into anterior horn.
So
Posteriorly, it is extending into
posterior horn.
Okay. Now see, it's difficult for us to remember like this. I will tell you, see, let us understand this picture better. So, more picture, see, this is the median sagittal section of the brain, isn't it? So in this median sagittal section, we know this is our skull bone, right? Diplo area. And this bluish area is nothing but the 3 meningeal layers with the dural venous sinus. We are finding this is the cerebral cortex, isn't it? Now when you come, this is the median sagittal section and this area, what is this?
Corpus callosum.
Very good, corpus callosum. Below corpus callosum, what is this beta? Septum pellucidum.
Septum pellucidum, okay.
Okay, septum pellucidum. If you remove this septum pellucidum, yesterday also when I was talking about some other topic, I told you we have a thin membrane-like, curtain-like structure which is attached to the lower end of the corpus callosum. You just cut it, you will be entering into the cavity. You can insert your finger anteriorly, you can insert your finger posteriorly, you can insert your finger inferiorly. That means we have empty space behind this curtain, that is the septum pellucidum. Now, just to get orientation of the parts of the brain, this area is thalamus. And this area between the two thalami is nothing but the third ventricle. Okay. Now, below thalamus, this area is hypothalamus, below which this gland is the pituitary gland. Okay. Now, because picture is good, I'm trying to help you with everything. This is frontal air sinus. This is anterior cranial fossa beta, in fact. Okay. This is sphenoid bone, sphenoidal air sinus. Okay, this is sella turcica, which is lodging the pituitary gland. Okay, this is basi-occiput region. This is foramen magnum, right? So this is our brainstem, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. This is cerebellum, and here we have the fourth ventricle. Okay, better. So now, why I am talking about all these things? In order to understand relations better, this becomes easy. In fact, this area, whatever you are finding, this fold is actually fornix. Where I'm scrolling my arrow, this area is actually fornix. This area is anterior commissure, posterior commissure. Okay. So many relations will come now. You need to keep certain things in mind now. Okay. What is this? I told you pituitary gland. Okay. Now let us see the relations now. It's very easy, not so tough now, because you have understood now. See, this is one lateral ventricle. This is one more lateral ventricle. We are now talking about central part. This section has been taken, okay, in the like we have anterior, posterior, central, and inferior horns. No? So this is actually involving the central part. So now in this central part, what are we finding? We should know all the boundaries. Superiorly, we have body of corpus callosum. As such, whole of the lateral ventricle, I told you it is situated below corpus callosum. I told you just below corpus callosum, we have that septum pellucidum, isn't it?
Septum pellucidum.
So below corpus callosum, this empty space, empty cavity is nothing but lateral ventricle. So it will be related to the corpus callosum only. Now see here, let us see what are the relations we have. See, this is corpus callosum superiorly. Okay, what is this curtain? I told you we have
Septum pellucidum.
Septum pellucidum. So whether it is right, like central part of the lateral ventricle or left, both the sides, the medial relation what we have is septum pellucidum. Okay, laterally, what do we have? Caudate nucleus. Okay. When I was discussing internal capsule, we have discussed about caudate nucleus, lentiform nucleus, thalamus, isn't it? So laterally, it is forming the relationship caudate nucleus. And now see, these are inferior relations. Okay. So inferiorly, what are we seeing, beta? See,
Caudate
thalamus.
nucleus. Sorry, stria terminalis and thalamus striate vein.
Stria terminalis and thalamus striate vein. Okay. So you are also, so this thing you should know clearly. So by looking at this picture, we are able to make 4 boundaries, isn't it? See, roof, floor, medial, lateral. Okay. Roof is nothing but body corpus callosum. Okay. Floor, stria terminalis, thalamus striate vein. Medially septum pellucidum and laterally caudate nucleus. Okay, beta? Now see, body.
Now what is fornix?
Fornix is, it's a white matter fibers what we find inside the telencephalon.
Okay.
So I will show you the structure of fornix here. What are the parts of fornix as we proceed? Okay, it's situated just below the septum pellucidum and above the level of thalamus. It contains all white matter fibers. Okay, fornix is a part of limbic system. We'll see fornix. I kept one picture for fornix. In this, or I think in the third ventricle, not here. Okay, I'll show you one more. Okay, so where we were, so I was talking about the relations of central part. Roof corpus callosum and floor, superior surface of thalamus and thalamus striate vein, stria terminalis and body of caudate nucleus, medially septum pellucidum, body of fornix. Okay, now coming to anterior, for everything you try to practice, this diagram you should practice. Okay, for central part of the lateral ventricle. Now, before I tell you the relations of anterior horn, let us see with the help of this diagram. Now, this is the anterior horn. This is also anterior horn. This is in right cerebral hemisphere. This is in left. 2 different cerebral hemispheres. This is right, I'm sorry, and this is left. Now, in both the cerebral hemispheres, if you see, like anterior horn is in which lobe?
In the frontal.
Yeah, in the frontal lobe. So, what is the superior relation?
Corpus callosum.
Medially?
The septum pellucidum.
Medially septum pellucidum. And laterally, and also we can say almost like floor. What is this relation formed by?
Caudate nucleus.
Caudate nucleus. Okay, and inferiorly you are finding
Stria terminalis and thalamus striate vein.
Here it is. Are you able to see the picture? Anterior. Yes, we are talking about anterior horn, isn't it? We are not talking about anterior horn. Okay, so that is anterior commission. Okay, again you are the same thing whatever we have read, no? So it is texted here. Okay, roof is the anterior part of the trunk of corpus callosum, anteriorly genu and rostrum of corpus callosum. Okay, floor is head of the caudate nucleus, medial wall, septum pellucidum and column of fornix. Now, these 2 pictures. Now 2 more pictures also will come now. Now this is the section which has been taken like this. That means when you take like this, you call it as coronal section. No? So what is this section showing us? See, this is gray matter, which is the cerebral cortex, and white matter is inside. Inside the white matter, again we have collection of gray matter, which is called as basal ganglia. Isn't it? Thalamus, caudate nucleus, lentiform nucleus. All together we use the word basal ganglia. Isn't it? So this area is actually thalamus. Between the 2 thalami, we will have third ventricle. Okay. Then you are finding what is this area, beta? Actually, this is hippocampus. These are the parts of limbic system. Hippocampus. Okay. Then you are finding 2 elevations, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are carpora quadrigemina. Okay. Carpora quadrigemina. Superior colliculus and inferior colliculus. Okay. In between, you are finding the pineal gland. Okay. So, actually, the fornix area, I'll show you with the help of another picture. But it actually coils like this and comes like this. Round it is like this. Round it comes like this. Okay. This is all thalamus. Whole thing is thalamus. And you are finding 2 elevations. No, medial and lateral geniculate bodies. This is medial geniculate body and this is lateral geniculate body. Okay. And we know this is occipital lobe. Below the occipital lobe, we are finding cerebellum. Cerebellum. Okay, beta? So whatever is cut here, this is forceps minor, no? That means this is a part of corpus callosum here, isn't it? Corpus callosum. The connecting fibers between right and left cerebral hemispheres you are finding here. Okay? So this is choroid plexus. Generally what we see inside the ventricles. Now this picture will help us to understand few relations. That's the reason labeling I have shown. Now what are the various things? The red in color structure is thalamus. Okay. Then whatever you are finding blue and green are the lentiform nucleus. You are finding this, and this is green one is caudate nucleus. Caudate nucleus has head, body, tail. Tail is related to amygdaloid body. Okay. No. See central part, it has again we have done no central part is floor. Okay, some more structures which we have already discussed, not required. Floor is made up of caudate nucleus. Okay, thalamus right vein, stria terminalis, thalamus, choroid plexus, and fornix. And then anterior horn. For anterior horn also, we should know roof floor, medial wall floor, and lateral horn. This also is already told you. Then coming to next horn, that is inferior horn. Inferior horn is in which lobe?
The occipital lobe.
Occipital lobe. Okay. So we will see. Let us see the posterior horn. Inferior horn is in temporal lobe, Imad.
You're saying posterior horn. Okay, posterior. Okay.
Posterior horn is in the occipital lobe. Okay. So this is a posterior horn, right? So posterior horn is behind. Anterior is frontal, posterior is occipital, inferior is temporal. Like that you remember. It becomes easy better. No. The posterior horn of lateral ventricle is this. Now that means you remember on the medial side we had one sulcus which is deep. I told you calcarine sulcus is also visible on the superolateral aspect, but it is not so much deeply placed. Whereas from the medial surface, if you view, calcarine sulcus is very much deeply indented. Okay, so that calcarine sulcus is actually, it is indented so much like it is showing its elevation in the posterior horn of lateral ventricle. And this elevation, which is correspondingly like going and touching almost the posterior horn of lateral ventricle, it is forming an elevation which is called as calcar avis. What is the name given to this elevation correspondingly to the indentation of calcarine sulcus? We call it as calcar avis. Okay. Now, see, just look at this picture and give your own explanation. Now, see, this is, we know it is posterior horn, and superiorly you can write all these three structures. But you need not worry about the meanings of so many things, not required. Okay. So, what are the various things we are finding? Tapetum. Okay. Then we are finding optic radiation. Okay. Then we are finding what is the other? Inferior longitudinal fascicle. Okay. So these are the boundaries of posterior. Okay. Then see, this is inferior horn. Inferior horn is found in which lobe?
Temporal.
Temporal lobe. Just follow this diagram and automatically you will write. This becomes superior relations and this becomes inferior relations, and this is medial one. So superiorly we have stria terminalis, okay, then tail of caudate nucleus and tapetum. Tapetum is the part of corpus callosum only. Then here we have collateral sulcus is showing its again projection into the inferior horn. You call it as collateral eminence. Okay. Then inferiorly we also have hippocampus, dentate gyrus, fimbriae. Medially you are finding choroid plexus. So try to learn these four pictures in order to give the relations of anterior horn, posterior horn. See this, we started with central part. Then this is anterior horn. This is, which horn is this? Posterior horn. And these are all diagrams from Chaurasia. I have already shared the PowerPoint. You can check later. This is inferior horn of lateral ventricle. Okay, so now suppose if this posterior horn is like we know in the occipital lobe has the primary visual area, no? Area number 17.
70.
And we also have visual association areas. In case if there is any tumor growing in the posterior horn of the lateral ventricle, then you will see that occipital area, actually the primary visual area, if it is damaged in that particular region, then this particular quadrant of vision is lost, which is contralateral upper homonymous quadrantinopia. This optic pathway, optic fibers, and optic tract, optic chiasma, optic radiations, everything, and what is the lesion and everything is given very clearly in physiology, optic pathway. You can refer to this once. Okay, it's only part of it which is shown. That means this quadrant of vision is lost if there is any tumor involving the posterior horn of lateral ventricle. Okay. So this picture is actually helping us to see like where exactly we have this hippocampus, alveus, fimbria. I will show you again. Okay. So this is the collateral eminence. Okay. And then, already we have discussed. This is the radiographic picture. So radiological visualization. Are you finding here something? Empty space? This is actually called as pneumoencephalography. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is 1 representing? 1, 2 is anterior horn. 3 is central cord. 4 is posterior horn. 5 is inferior
horn.
Okay. So different views have been taken. This is again lateral view. You are finding all ventricles in fact. Lateral ventricle, the other side lateral ventricle, then third ventricle, aqueduct, fourth ventricle, and so on. Okay, this is superolateral surface view. This you have taken from the superior aspect of the skull bone. You are finding 2 ventricles in fact. Okay, these 2 are like in the same plane. So yesterday also I kept one picture like this, no? So what is happening here? We are finding there is compression, left lateral ventricular compression. Okay, right lateral ventricle looks normal. Okay. So MRI and CT scans, we can check this. This picture also was there in yesterday's
Hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus, accumulation of CSF. Blockage may be in the foramen of bone row. Okay, if it is related to lateral ventricle. So sometimes there may be bleeding also. So that is intraventricular hemorrhage. Okay, hemorrhage may be, all these structures like basal ganglia are very closely related to lateral ventricle. Okay.
Ma'am, white color means that is blood.
Empty space is this one, beta. This one is blood. Okay, because previously also we have seen empty space is the water what we have. Okay. So
Ma'am, that hydrocephalus is it treatable, ma'am?
Yeah, but it's very much treatable. We can actually collect the CSF, no, if it is excess.
Okay.
Lumbar puncture, you remove. At the same time,
we can remove that blockage, ma'am.
We should treat underlying cause. That's what I was following the statement. Suppose if it is encephalitis, suppose it is meningitis, infection, you treat with proper antibiotics. And suppose if it is due to tumor like ependymoma, then we have to treat the cancer. Okay, Barhol surgeries are available.
Okay.
So these are of course very like neurosurgeons will generally do that type of surgeries which will be involved.
What is that, ma'am? Barbone. What is that, ma'am?
Burr-hole, B-U-R, burr. H-O-L.
Okay.
That means hole is created in the skull bone. And you should go with very much expertise because you are meddling with nervous tissue, which is not so easy, right?
Okay.
Okay. So this was the case what we have discussed, isn't it? So like that means here, if it is designed in this way, you have to discuss in detail about later. This is only one example, anything can come. Okay. Then,
ma'am, that exam is a Sunday, no, ma'am?
Huh. Yeah.
So